Hey, you guys, we are back for our final last day, day 5 of our argument essay. Go ahead, you know the drill. Go to classwork, click on your argument essay practice, online instruction. If you would like to, your current argument writing survival guide, and scroll to the bottom. All right, today's the day. I'm going to check and correct, making sure you got your writing opinion pieces on topics or texts, writing support of a point of view with reasons and information. So I'm going to be using the final grading rubric today. After I finish this video to grade your essay, all right? I will give you your corrections. If I need to do a Zoom conference with each of you, I'll give you each your information on your Google Classroom document so that you can make sure that you're doing it correctly. If we can't have teacher table in person, we'll have to do it online, right? We'll either do Zoom or a Google meeting, depending on which one I've discussed and shown and taught you throughout the school year, okay? All right, so we are on our essay. We are going to finish step 5, and then I'm going to grade and correct. Just a reminder, if you haven't looked at your corrections from yesterday, stop the video now, go back and correct your corrections, and then come back and meet me here, okay? All right, yesterday we did the first step, which is changing the sentence structure of your green sentences. Now, you guys, I'm not going to just say, just the green, that's it. If you notice that you have repeated sentences in different areas, make sure that you go and do it too in those. You don't have to just simply keep it like that, okay? So we've elevated our vocabulary kind of. I'm making sure I'm correcting this to make everything make sense. We're going to change sentence. Okay. All right, let's elevate our vocab. Now, we kind of did that with our synonym replacement in thesaurus.com, as well as the dead word sorts and dead words that we're going to be using. But to kind of tie information in from our reading, we're going to see if we can use any of the other vocabulary words from our reading, Tuck Everlasting, that we've done this week as well. So I'm going to do it. You don't have to do it right now. I am going to go back to your Google Classroom for Tuck Everlasting mini unit, and I am going to click on my slide. You don't have to do it, okay? Because I know I get overwhelmed. If I've got too many tabs up here, it kind of makes me confused sometimes. So you can just use the video and pause it to help you, okay? All right, so we're talking about what we think is better. And I did this on some of yours on Monday and Tuesday, but y'all, you cannot forget this. If you just have why you like online school or why you like at school better, you're not going to get the full points. And I would even tell you, like I've told you in class, I would even venture giving you a 0. Not in actuality, but I think in real life you might get one because it would be off topic. Because remember, it's asking you which method would help students learn better. So if you don't have reasons-wise examples that fit the learn better part and not just why you like it, it's not going to be graded, honestly, okay? But we've already done that, just making sure that you've remembered. You've got to have that detail about learning better in there to get a full score. So we're talking about which one we think helps students learn better. So some of the vocabulary that we used might not work, some of it might, okay? So I'm going to scroll, you don't have to the vocabulary slide. Right here, slide 23. Trot in to walk, amble to walk slowly. I don't think we'll use those, right? We're not really talking about walking in this essay, so we may not be able to use them. But I do think contemplation, tranquil, oppressive, forlorn, meager, possess, and immense. Yeah, I think we could probably use those. So we're going to practice that. Deep in thought would be good. All right, so I'm back on my essay. All right. I'm gonna see if I ever used the word like concentrating in here. You probably have. If not, I could use contemplate instead of concentrate. So let me see. I put distracted. I'm gonna say quietly that make it hard to concentrate. On the topic. Okay. So you don't do this, I'm doing it to make it fit. All right, so I put concentrate. If you have anything like thinking hard, harder to understand, harder to concentrate, you've got it. Harder to contemplate. Now, if you've done this with me already and we're in the third and fourth 9 weeks, you know that if we do a vocab word for my grading and for your grading purposes, we're underlining the vocab that we use. If you don't know, and we're in the second, maybe middle third 9 weeks, contemplate is a vocab word from our reading. We know that it doesn't really make a difference if we can read it 1 or 2 times in the reading that we've done. We really know that we can understand it if we can use it correctly in writing, so we're going to work on that to get 4s and 5s. And we underline it in our essay or anytime we use any vocabulary from our vocab set that week so that we know Miss Goulart knows where to look and that you know where to look to check and correct it. All right, so I've used contemplate and it makes sense. That makes it hard to contemplate on the topic. Now, contemplate on the topic doesn't work. So contemplate the topic Miss Goulart is reviewing is the correct grammatical usage. I will tell you though, even if you don't use it perfectly in the sentence, they'll still give you points. The algorithm on the ACT Aspire will still give you points. I'm just going to make it sound right and grammatically correct because I'm a person, not a computer. All right, let me look at another one. Oppressive. Ooh, I love that. So I'm going to say, going along with what we've already written, the second reason in class instruction is more oppressive than at home. School, we'll say school, so I'm not using instruction 50 times. And I'm underlining oppressive because that is one of our vocab words. It means more heavy. Now, would I say that in day-to-day life? Maybe not. But since I'm trying to make my vocabulary elevated, make it more fancy, as we call it, more formal, I'm going to do that. Is more oppressive. I keep clicking over here. I've used oppressive. Possess, that's an easy one. And we can probably use possess, honestly, in every single argument essay we use. We can use it in different forms, too. It doesn't have to be past tense possessed every time. It can be possessing or possess. We'll say, if you possess a computer and a quiet room, you can easily make learning at home less, let's use another word, less more tranquil. Ooh. More tranquil. And if you were, I'm going to just bust them all out and use a mince too. Then if you were sitting in an immensely, they're going to tell me it's wrong. Oh, it was wrong. My apologies. Immensely populated classroom, period. Ooh, that sentence not only contains or possesses a ton of vocabulary, but it's a good sentence. More tranquil than if you were sitting in an immensely populated classroom. Now, y'all, don't take this as my second real reason, because if I were grading this on my own with y'all, I would say this is too similar. This reason is too similar to your first reason. But for the sake of example for you guys, showing you how to use our elevated vocabulary, I'm using it like that. All right, oppressive, possess, tranquil, immensely. I want you guys to use possess in almost every essay that you have because that's a super easy one to include that's on the 5th grade list, okay? All right, like I'm checking back. I've used tranquil, contemplate, oppressive, possess, and immense. So meager, we can easily use, and forlorn, I like it. I'm going to use it in the first reason paragraph I already have written. So I can use forlorn as like how I feel, right? So, oh, I love it. I am so shy that I would never raise my hand to ask her to stop so I can finish. Let me just double check. Forlorn, pitiful. Forlorn can also mean worried, okay? It wasn't used in the context in Tuck Everlasting as worried, but we can still use it as worried. Where was I? I am so forlorn that I was. I was forlorn that I would never raise my hand. I don't think it's used correctly. In fact, I'm going to check, and this is what you can do when you're at home. I'm going to see what part of speech it is first. It's an adjective. Forlorn figures at a bus stop. Hopeless. Forlorn attempt. Okay, so I'm using it correctly. I'm just double checking. It's used as an adjective and I'm using it correctly. I wanted to use it as a verb. So, okay, here I'm going to use it. A forlorn student so I would never raise my hand to ask to stop so I could finish. Good. I am a forlorn student. That would definitely work. So I'm underlining it. Always double check, y'all, if you feel the need to, especially now that we're practicing. Of course, on the day that you do it for the ACT Aspire, you can't check it, but before then, we're going to do everything we can to know what we need to know. And then my last one's meager, right? Yeah, I'm not going to use meager because, y'all, we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of our vocab words that we had on our vocab set this week. And you've probably had 20 vocab sets while or up to the point that you're doing this assignment. So you can use any of your previous vocabulary sets or any of the dead word replacements if we're in third and fourth 9 weeks to replace with vocabulary words, okay? So really elevate that vocab. Every year, I've told you this before, that I've had students make straight 5s. Those students were extremely good at doing the vocabulary elevation checkpoint. So make sure that you guys do that as well. All right, so I've done vocab checkpoint. Let's make sure. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to figure out where I am. Changing sentence length is next. This is so silly, but I'm teaching you how to write well and not how to write for a specific computer algorithm. So y'all can do this, but as I've told you in the past, the computer algorithm that checks or grades your essay on the ACT Aspire looks for varied sentence length, and that is on our grading rubric as well. So it's great if you can write in complete complex sentences every time, like we have down here. How we checked, not down there, how you know that we made these super nice, how in our introduction practice yesterday, we switched the dependent clause to the very front, adding a transition, making it a complex sentence. That's great. If you can make complex sentences out of every single sentence that you make or that you write, awesome. But we got to be careful because the algorithm looks for sentences that are varied or different. Sometimes it's great to have a simple sentence. Sometimes it's good to have a complex or a compound sentence. But they want you in every single paragraph, even in your introduction paragraph, to change it up. So you have all of the different types of sentences that you can have, okay? So let's double check. I'm going to double check using my already pre-made 5-paragraph essay. You can check using yours. Start with the introduction. Many people have various opinions about cell phone usage in schools. Is that a pretty good, simple sentence? Yeah. Next sentence. My school has to decide if it should ban cell phones altogether. Many people think this would be a smart choice, but not everybody agrees. I feel like those are two kind of simple sentences. Let's combine them. Let's make them into a compound sentence, okay? My school has to decide if schools should ban cell phones altogether, comma, even though there are many opinions about the topic, period. And then I'm just going to erase this last yellow. Now it's compound. I have two separate sentences with a comma. Great. Even though there are many options about the topic, that's a dependent clause. My school has to decide to ban cell phones altogether is independent. It can stand on its own. Next sentence. Getting rid of cell phones is not appropriate for many reasons. It's a good compound or regular sentence. The second reason I think cell phones, I don't need a transition for that. Let's say I think cell phones should not be boycotted. I'm going to add another simple sentence to the front to make it make sense. No, that one's good. No. I do need to add the ethical. Now that I'm rereading it, notice y'all, this is like my 20th time to read the same statement, right? The same paragraph, and I'm still finding problems with it. I need to put my choice. First, comma, our school should not ban them because there are too many ethical problems, period. Next, adding a different transition that I erased previously. Next, purple. I think cell phones should not be boycotted at CETA because some after-school activities have different, even confusing locations. Good. That's a compound sentence, finally, because that's my complex sentence. Good. So I've got a ton of different types of sentence structures in the same paragraph. Awesome. Moving on to our first reason paragraph. The first reason I think we should have online instruction is because, like I said before, I'm kind of mixing it up to make this make sense to you guys. Banning cell phones is not ethical for many reasons. Do I have it up here? Yeah. Many students already keep their phones with them every day at school. Most don't even use them during class periods, rather keep them for emergencies to contact parents after school. This is a simple sentence. This is a compound sentence. Great. If they're not causing emotional or mental damage to others, why ban them? I changed up the sentence style, adding a question mark. Love it. Some schools even use blocking software to ensure students don't get on apps. Oh, and this previously, sorry, this is a complex. Oh no, it's a switch sentence, meaning I've put the clause before I flipped it. Some schools even use blocking software to ensure students don't get on apps like Instagram. I'm not going to do it yet because this is our last section, but you notice a few problems already. Instagram and Facebook during school, which would eliminate problems some students have with distractions. Good. And this isn't the best paragraph. I told y'all to make the blue better, and this blue is like, okay, but it's not great. So it's good. It's got varying sentence structure. I have some simple sentences, some complex, some compound. Go to the next one. I think cell phones should not be banned at CCETA because some schools have after school commitments, blah, blah, blah. Good. Some extracurriculars like cheerleading or chess may meet in different locations on different days. Good simple sentence. For example, I'm using a personal example. This is true. When I was in 6th grade, our school's track was being built. Therefore, we had to meet at literally 4 different schools for practice. One day, I'm going to have to do this. 4 different schools for practice. One day, my mom had to drive 3 separate schools to find me. And had I not owned a cell phone to call her, it would have been a severe safety issue. Different sentence structures, different sentence styles, fantastic. All right, you see the point. I'm going through with each of them, changing and making sure I've got some short, some long, some compound, some complex sentences, okay? All right, last part. Last, we do spelling and grammar check. Last, okay? All right, first, sentences start with all caps. Cool. I'm going to say we did it because I've already done that and checked it. Last, they end with punctuation marks. Awesome. All proper nouns are capitalized. Let's go back through. And y'all, what I mean by that, look at this. If I were doing this with y'all, first, start with caps. I'm going to read my whole essay again, making sure I've got caps. Next, I'm going to read it again a second time to make sure they have end marks and correct punctuation, meaning commas as well. I'm going to read it a third time to make sure that I've got proper nouns. Our brains don't function well when we've got 5 things that we've got to look at, okay? I don't do well with it. We've talked about it, and I've even written about it in our practice essay this week about how since I have ADHD, even though I take medication, I still have to break down things into smaller tasks to make them understandable. And it's not just for students or people with ADHD. Everybody's brain works like that. We categorize things in our brains. So if you think that you're going to go through and just do all of it at once, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Have I not just been doing all of this with you, and have I not been finding all of those types of mistakes that I've been making? Yeah, and I do this. This is my job, and I still make mistakes constantly about it. So there is no way that you can do all of it at once. I even struggle with doing all of it at once as well, okay? So at this point, I'm on my third read of the editing process just for the spelling, grammar, editing section. Have I read it more than that in my previous steps? Of course, okay. Is it hard? It's hard work. Is it the lazy game if we're not gonna? Yeah, I mean, we're playing the lazy game if we're not doing it every single time right, okay? So I know it's hard to fight the urge, y'all. Fight the urge to just skip through and say, "Ah, I'm good, I'm just tired." I'm tired too, y'all. You think I'm not tired of reading all these essays with you guys as well? It's tiring, but it's worth it, all right? So let's go back to where we just were. When I was talking about in reason paragraph 1, I was talking about Instagram and Facebook, y'all. Are those proper nouns? Mm-hmm. I'm going to capitalize Instagram and I'm going to capitalize Facebook, okay? Is our school capitalized? CCETA, Cross County? I'm going to use them in various different forms. Yeah, of course. They're all proper nouns. Making sure that every proper noun, if you're talking about a restaurant, if you're talking about a book, remember books are really, really good when you want to get a high score on your essay for the grammar section, the last column. Using books, they love whenever you use examples from novels or books that you read. So make sure that you have all of your proper nouns capitalized, okay? All right. And then for good measure, and I'm going to add this to the checklist, I just stop. I kind of have a brain break. We've talked about this in class. You need a few brain breaks occasionally to make sure that you're not overloading, okay? So at this point, I'm not going to close my Chromebook. I'm probably just going to close my eyes for a second. Take a few breaths here and there. And this is what you do and can do and will do and have done in class and will do for your actual ACT Aspire test. Take a little brain break. Don't take your book out. Don't look at anything else, but just kind of close your eyes. Breathe for a second. Y'all complain about your hands hurting. I get it. Mine do whenever I type a lot as well. So just move your hands in the least distracting way you possibly can and just take about a minute or two. If your proctor or the person that's testing asks you if you're okay, just say, I'm taking a brain break. All right. They're going to know what you're talking about. If you're with me for testing, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Take a little brain break, then stop. I like to read my whole essay from beginning to end out loud to myself, saying the punctuation as I go. Okay. You guys know if you can't read it aloud, you're not going to hear a lot of mistakes that you make. I can't hear a lot of mistakes that I'm making grammatically if I can't read it aloud. Are you going to be allowed to just full on say it out loud as you're in class when you're doing your essay in the ACT Aspire test? No. But you can whisper it to yourself and have it not be distracting to anybody else that's around you, okay? So if you're at home and you're alone, say it out loud like I'm going to. If you're by yourself, Or I'm sorry, if you're not by yourself and you're in a highly trafficked area or you're in the actual testing situation, whisper it to yourself so that you can reread the whole thing, making sure you're totally done. Then you can press turn in. You got it? Do not just go, I'm tired, turn in. No, do not press turn in or submit until you have fought and put your blood, sweat, and tears into this one essay, okay? You will not turn in anything that's less than your best any single time that you're doing it. You know that for me. I don't expect you to do any differently if you're sitting at home doing this online right now, okay? Because guess who's ultimately grading it? Me. I'm the one that's doing it with you. I'm conferencing with you after this, and I'm going to be going through your rubric and grading it with you. I'm the one that's been checking them every day, so I'm the one you're going to have to please, okay? More importantly, you want to be proud of what you produce, right? If you're not proud personally of what you produce, then what good is doing it? Take the time, do it. Read through one last time, say it out loud as you read through it, press submit. After you submit, I'm going to be scheduling on your Google Classroom time that you can meet with me either in a Google Meet or in a Zoom call for us to be able to check and correct your essay together, and I'm going to grade it on the rubric like I do with you at Teacher Table, okay? Awesome job. This is probably one of the hardest things you'll do during the week other than math is actually doing your essay on your own and not having me stand over and push you. You guys can do this. You know you can do it. We've done it a ton, once a week pretty much. And then every single day of the editing process, every single week that we're at school. I'm not here standing over your shoulder to push you, but you guys know what you're capable of. Have a lot of confidence in your writing. And y'all, you know this. Even if you think it's wrong, try it. You can never learn and get better at writing if you're not adventurous occasionally with the stuff that you write down, okay? All right, I love you guys and miss you. I'm going to be scheduling your conferences so that we can do our one-on-ones together with you on your Google Classroom. Go forth, conquer your essay, do the best that you possibly can, and I can't wait to read the entire products for you guys. All right, hopefully I will see you soon. If not, I'll meet you back here in your Google Classroom next week. Bye.